Eh, kayaknya Mas, yang sebetulnya saya juga ada pusing yang tiga-tiganya sih, Mas.
Oh, tiga-tiganya. Wah, seriusan? Aduh, jangan
Enggak,
deh.
kemarin nggak tahu, kemarin kayak saya pusing Mas ngerjain ini.
Oke. Coba yang nomor 8 dulu ya. Nomor 8 itu kan base-nya udah sama tuh semuanya. Berarti kan tinggal, kalau Mister optional sih, bisa masukin dulu jadi 36 ini kan masuk ke sini, square 36 minus log to the base 11 of 2 plus, ini juga bisa masuk kan, log to the base 11 of 9. Jadi kan tinggal ini subtraction, multiplication, jadi log 11, kalau mau dibikin pelan-pelan, 36 divided by 2 multiplied by 9. Itu kan?
Mister,
Ya,
ini nomor berapa?
nomor 8.
Oh, oke.
Nggak ada beda-beda, ada paling cuma dikit-dikit sih. Beda. Ntar dulu. Mister buka yang benar nggak sih? Itu. Oh, kalau lama tutup. Oke, lah hilang. Tapi kebayang nggak tadi yang nomor 8 kalau nggak salah ini? Kebayang? Yang nomor 8. Jadi jawabannya tadi 36 bagi 2, 18. 18 kali 9. Ya, ini masih sama. Jawabannya tuh 1 atau 0. Ini single log ya? Ini yang single log loh. Jadi final answer must be in single log, not exact values. Jadi, aduh, susah lah kalau udah nge-lag deh. Ya, jadi ini jawabannya berapa ya? Aduh, 36 bagi 18, bagi 18 kali 9 berarti 162 ya.
162.
Iya, betul. Nah, oke, sekarang yang 9 sedikit tricky lah. Sedikit. Kalau nomor 9 itu biasanya kalau udah ada multiplication, Mister suka dibikin fraction. Log 4 itu kan log 4 per log 10. Tapi nggak usah juga lah log 4 aja gitu kan. Nah, jangan lupa log 4 itu kan log 2 kuadrat. 4 itu kan 2 kuadrat kan. Maka dia akan sama dengan log 9 over log 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by log 2. Coret. Jadi sama dengan 2 kali ini. Sama dengan log 9 square. Sama dengan log 81. Gitu aja. Tuh. Iya.
Mister.
Yes.
What if you use like the property of the product of loss, like the one that says that if you have like log AB multiplied by log BC, it will become log AC.
Yeah, but this is not BC kan? This is AB. Makanya Mister tuh nggak suka bahas yang ini karena kan sebetulnya kan dia dari log B over log A kan, multiplied by log C over log B. Cross, so we have log C over log A. So it is log AC. Masalahnya ini kan B-nya 10. Ini jadi nggak sama, ini nggak B, ini nggak B. Kalau dia 9 baru boleh. Ini nggak ini lebih ke log A of B multiplied by log D of log C of D, entirely different. Ini kan ada koneksinya. Ada konektornya. So we are speaking a different case here. Okay, so yeah, so it's not this case we have, because we have entirely different A, B, C, D, not B, A and B and C, because the base of this is different. It's 10. Okay, so it will be applicable if the base is 9. So if this is 9, now it is applicable. So it will be log to the base 2 of 4. Yes, it is. So yeah, let's go to number 10. Number 10, masa sih susah? Seriusan number 10 susah?
Susah,
Oke.
Mister.
Number 10 itu kan 3 kan? 3 plus log 2 of 3. Oh, apa? Nanti bahas lagi kalau mau. Terus gimana bikin single log? Oh ya, ini sedikit tricky lah. Yang ini sedikit tricky, makanya nomor terakhir. Jeng ya. Iya, sedikit ditweak. Sedikit ditweak tiganya. Ya karena harus single log kan. Ya gimana caranya bikin single log? Ya make 3 into a logarithm with the base 2 because I want to combine those two. Okay. So yeah, that is the trickiest one. But I'm just expecting that number 8 and 9 is kind of stroll in the garden or park. But yeah, number 10 is kind of a little bit tricky. So yeah, any other thing that we want to discuss? Maybe from the other.
Well, problem.
Oke, mau dibahas juga. Siap. Yang ya. Yang kamu bilang 0 itu betul. Setuju, Mister. Tapi single log lupa ya. Single log, tapi ya sudahlah. Bolehlah 0, apa-apa deh. Pengecualian. Yang ini benar 0 atau log 51. Ini sama kan? Ini sama semua. Cuman soal nomor 8 aja. Yang mana? Yang inequality. Sama kok yang tadi. Well, problem seriusan. Hah? Really? I mean, I think it's quite obvious, right? Yang penting ini aja cek. Independennya itu harusnya, independennya altitude. Dependennya adalah tekanan udara, berarti apa? Pressure. What is it? At the pressure of the air. So as long as you do it with that, and don't forget that the general form is if you use y and x, so y equals a times bx, right? So just the sea level is 0. So the first pair is this, and then the second pair is 2,14,5. So I think it will be, Oh, so so sorry about that, Brian. So kalau soal miscalculation, pakai kalkulator juga masih miscalculation. Gemes deh ya.
Ada soal yang satu lagi kan? Nomornya
Ada.
beda.
Ya.
Yang 14.7 sama 15.
Ya. It's okay. Nanti pakai fungsinya beda. Udah kaget ya, jangan-jangan salah ngambil angka ya. Enggak, tenang. Sorry, ini yang ini ya, inequality ya. Inequality yang ini nggak gampang apa? Semoga gampang sih. Udah. Jadi ini buat yang satu lagi kan tinggal di flip. Berarti kebalikannya. Ya kan? Yang 16 mah gampang lah ya. Oke, yang 16 gampang. Semoga. Terus yang salah dong. Kalau yang ini ya harus ini dong. Kalau yang soalnya ini ya. Oke, jadi ya jadi
Terus saya
yang
salah Mister.
apa?
Saya harusnya kan itu smaller dan
Oh,
saya bikinnya bigger than Mister.
kebalik ya. Nah itu tuh tanda itu, aduh, udah pusing lah kalau tanda diganti-ganti. Jangan ya. Itu malah paling fundamental. Tapi ya sudah lah. Yang penting stepsnya ada. Oke. Jadi yang nomor 17 lebih kompleks dikit. Jadi domainnya cuma satu. Nomor 17 ini misal baru bahas yang tipe lain ya. Jadi kalau yang beda paling di flip aja. Domainnya itu adalah 3 minus 2x must be greater than 0. Udah pasti. Therefore, 3 is greater than 2x. Therefore, 3 over 2 is greater than x. Or, in other words, open circle to the left, this is 3 over 2. This is the domain. Artinya jawabannya harus di sini. Ya. Nah, sekarang mari kita jawab. Solve-nya, base-nya udah sama semua, maka dia jadi masih 0.5, tapi dia jadi 6 minus 4x, right? Digabung. Lebih besar sama dengan log 0.5 of 9. Therefore, because the base is lesser than 1, 6 minus 4x must be lesser equals to 9. Di flip, ya kan? Base-nya jangan lupa hati-hati. Akhirnya, Mister bikin pindah ke kiri, ini min 3 lebih kecil sama dengan 4x. So, in the end, negative 3 over 4 is... So, actually, the solution is negative 3/4, but the x is greater than. So, we combine with this, since the domain is all x that is less than 3 over 2, therefore, the answer will be starting from negative 3/4 with closed circle, but it must stop at 3 over 2. That this is the sign. Ada varian 2. Jadi yang varian 2 itu greater than kan? Sorry, less than. Kalau varian 2 ya. Kalau varian 2 less than, domainnya nggak berubah. The domain is still the same. Okay, but when we solve it, okay, let me choose since it is less than. Therefore, when I convert into the arguments, it will be greater than, and this one is greater than. It means the solution is all values of x that is less than negative 3/4. Masalahnya adalah semua ini masuk di dalam domain. Artinya ya solusinya ya itu aja. Gitu. Solusinya itu. Karena semuanya masuk di dalam domain. Jadi there is no revision of your solution. Because all of that solutions is inside the domain. Okay, so yeah, is that understandable about the inequalities? And yeah, I thought it was quite easier than the practice that we did before. It is easier. There is no quadratic, only one argument, only one domain. Hello. Okay, so yeah. Any other question from the test? But I don't want to discuss bonus problem. Just leave it there. Do not add. Okay. So yeah. Really, no other. Okay. So the good news is, let's change the atmosphere, since now, I don't know whether you're, now we are in chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7, which is rational algebraic function. On chapter 8, we will learn about irrational. So after rational, we learn about irrational algebraic function. And the last one in this semester is the quadratic relation. So yeah, only 3 chapters to go before you are ready enough to go to the 11th grade. Since of course, the 11th grade, you need to master all of the basic from the 10th grade. So yeah, only 3 big chapters. Okay, so now let's go to chapter 7. Rational. What does rational means? So this is the function. The function that we will dealing with is a function divided by another function. Okay, for example, it is like this. Over, okay, wow. Okay, so this is your function to find the y, and then you need to learn how to graph it. Okay, look at the leap from linear, quadratic, exponential. Now this, how do we graph these beautiful fractions? Okay, so let's just save it until the end. So I will teach the graph in the end before the real problem. I don't know, will we deal with the real problem or not? But let's just start with this, the basic skills. The basic skills, the first one is multiplying, multiply, and the second is factor. Okay, why? Because first, let me ask you, Jason, factor this 42 in numbers completely.
7 multiplied by 6.
What? 7
times 2 times 3.
Good. Now this is completely good. Thank you. So this is factoring, right? Now, so please try to have a, okay, now this is in numbers, but in the end, what we are practicing in this chapter, if I give you, for example, x cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 1, this is the 42, you need to find the factors. Okay, so it is x plus what, and x plus, yeah, in the end. So what is the objective? Why? So whenever I have a question like this, 42 divided by 15. So when we have this and simplify it, actually, this is the thing that you do. You first factor everything. So on the numerator, I factor everything. And then on the denominator, I factor it. It is 3 times 5, right? Since I have factored everything on the numerator and denominator, then I can cancel the same factor from both sides. So I can simplify it. So in the end, it is 14 over 5. That is simplifying. And that's what we are doing in this chapter. So when you have a function, and after you factor it completely, for example, x plus 3, x minus 2, 2x minus 5, over, for example, this is 2x minus 5, and then this is x plus 1, you can simplify it because you have the same factor on the denominator and numerator. Okay, so the final objective is we want to simplify the functions. So we need to practice how to factor completely polynomials. Okay, so we start with, oh, I have skipped into the factoring. So let's start with multiplying first. Let me ask Tiffany. Can you multiply this?
Wait.
Just guide me. It's okay. Just, you don't have to go to the final answer.
So x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6.
Good. Can you simplify this?
It's x squared plus x minus 6.
Okay. So this is the first skill, right? Multiplying. But you need also to have the skills. If I give you x squared plus x minus 6, factor this. So when you factor it, you will have x plus 3 times x minus 2. So factoring is the opposite of multiplying. I give you the product. You need to find what is the factors, right? So yes, you need to master both skills. Okay, so let me ask you another one. X plus 5 multiplied by x plus 5. Okay, Jocelyn.
X squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25.
So, and you simplify?
Or x squared plus 10x plus 25.
Okay, please notice that actually this is x plus 5 squared, right? So we have proven, so for those who still asking, Mister, kenapa sih nggak bisa didistribute? Ya nggak bisa lah, dicobain begini aja udah kelihatan. Hasilnya itu begini. Bukan x squared plus 25. No. So you cannot distribute into the addition. Okay, so just try to multiply it conventionally if you are not certain. So of course I'm expecting you to have also the skill. If I give you this one, you need to factor it into x plus 5 squared. Okay, this is the last one. Okay. So Justin, what is the result?
X squared minus 5x plus 5x negative 25.
So can you simplify?
X squared minus 25 minus 25.
Ya, jadi gampang ya, jadi malah sedikit kan. So you have to notice that it is actually x squared minus 5 squared. So this is the thing that I want you to start to master. If I have a plus b times a minus b, it is x squared minus b squared. Or if I'm asking you to factor a squared minus b squared, then you can factor it to become a plus b times a minus b. Contoh, ini harus udah mulai ke build. Jadi Mister pengen kamu sampai tahap you just do it, langsung nggak pakai mikir. Contoh, Mister bikin lagi. Jadi kalau ada misalnya y squared minus 9, therefore actually this is y squared minus 3 squared. So I know I can factor it, it becomes y plus 3 times y minus 3. Again, if I have, for example, 81 minus z squared, can I factor this? Of course, because I can convert this into 9 squared minus z squared, because 9 squared minus z squared can be factored to becomes 9 plus c multiplied by 9 minus c. Okay, whenever I have a square minus a square, difference of two squares, that is the factors. Try to master that quickly because this is very important for the upcoming lessons. Okay, let me give you one more examples. Okay, 16y squared minus z squared. You cannot do this. Oh, jadinya ini plus c 16y minus c. You cannot. Why? Because actually the one that being squared is only y. So it is 16 multiplied by y squared. So you cannot execute a square minus b squared whenever the square doesn't belong to the whole thing. So how to modify this? I just want to remind you because this is still a common mistake. So first transform this into 4y squared minus z squared, right? 16y squared equals to 4y squared. So you can distribute and you will have the same form. Now, whenever you have the base is the whole thing for your square, then you can execute. It is 4y plus c multiplied by 4y minus c. Okay, so that is the thing that I want to remind you about this. So in the end, if I have, for example, 81x squared minus 9y squared, you need to modify this first because the square only belong to x and y. So let's make it as the whole thing. So it is 9x squared minus 3y squared. Okay. 4y plus, oh boleh, dibalik boleh. Jadi, sorry, namanya karena ini commutative boleh. Jadi boleh juga 4y minus c, 4y plus c, boleh. Ya, yang penting yang satu minus, yang satu plus. So this one, now you can factor it as 9x minus 3y. Let me just use the subtraction first. 9x plus 3y. Okay. So yeah, I want you to notice that first. That is the objective of this first meeting. I want you to be alert about the factoring that you need to master. So let me just refer before we move before I just dismiss this meeting. I just want you to open page 330 until 331. So there are 4 examples. Example 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, these 4 examples, yeah, Nadia, please. These 4 examples are important and you need to assess yourself. Can you understand all of these examples? Okay, because these examples are very important for the next subchapters. Let me go for the first one. So the first one is the thing that we have already discussed first. So this one actually, yeah, let me skip this. Okay. Okay, this one check. Okay. I hope that you can master a squared minus b squared quickly. The second example is multiplying. I think it's not hard, right? So whenever we have this, try to assess yourself, can you understand how to multiply this? If you have 3 factors, try to multiply one by one first. So multiply this first. And then after you find the product, then you can multiply with the third one. Just do it step by step. Okay. And then number 3, now this is the thing that is very important. Factor completely. Okay. So factor completely is this. For example, if I have 25x squared plus 30xc. How can I factor this completely? Usually the best thing is you factor each terms completely first. So this one is 5 times 5 times x, right? Plus 30 is 5 times 6. I know that it's not 6, it's 2 times 3 times x times z, right? So I need to extract those same elements from both terms, right? So we have this the same, right? And then we have x the same. That's all. That's why I can extract 5x outside and then the one being left on the first term and the one being left on the second term. So that is factoring completely. So make sure you cannot factor more of this factor, this one. Of course, I cannot factor anything else. Okay. So now let's just practice with the example from the textbook, which is very interesting. 5x to the 7th power minus 405 x cubed. So I want to show you the visual how to factor this completely for each term. So the first term is 5 times x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Minus this is 5 times 81. I think 81, just leave it there. X times x times x. 81 is 3/4, but let's just find which is the same. This one is same, and we have 3x and 3x. So I can extract that out, right? So in the end, I have 5xxx multiplied by xxxx minus 81 doang, right? So in the end, I can simplify it to becomes 5x cubed multiplied by x to the fourth power minus 81, okay? The thing is, factoring completely means you need to assess whether you still can factor this or not. If you still can factor it, it means you need to proceed. And we know that x4 minus 81, actually it is x squared minus 9 squared. Therefore, it will be x squared plus 9 multiplied by x squared minus 9. Jadi masih harus lanjut. Jadi ini jadi 5x cubed times x squared plus 9 times x squared minus 9. Nah, sebelum selesai, cek, can you factor this one? Can you factor this one? If the answer is yes, you need to proceed. Okay, the thing is, I cannot factor this one. I cannot. But this one is still factorable. Why? Because x squared minus 9 is x squared minus 3 squared. X squared minus 3 squared equals x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. So I still can proceed. So it will be 5 times x cubed times x squared plus 9 times x minus 3 times x plus 3. Now let's make a final check. Can I factor this? No. Can I factor this? No. Can I factor this? No. Then you have your final answer. Okay, so yeah, please practice with your homework later because the homework will be factoring completely. Try to practice, okay? And look at example number 4. Yes, you cannot escape. So we need to master factoring that kind of polynomials. So stop using, before you are safe because of quadratic formula. But now you need to master how to factor this kind of polynomial. So the textbook has already defined it. So it is x minus 6 multiplied by 3x plus 2. Well, you need to practice because it is very important how to factor this. Okay, so please assess yourself for these 4 examples because this is mandatory. We need to, but for the homework later, there is, yeah, you can measure yourself with the homework that you will do. And on Friday, I think I won't add any material first because I just want to check whether we all have mastered all of these 4 examples. So you can ask questions from your homework for Monday, for Friday, sorry. Our Friday meeting will be question and answer for your homework. Okay, so yeah, this week we are only have no further questions. Any question? No? Cliff first, okay? Thank you.
Can you discuss number 80?
80. Wait, 80. Okay, let me just write down. Okay, so it's 80 from Cliff and Nadia.
I would like to ask for a number like 60. Only like for the format of the final answer. Is it like, so what I got is 5x plus 4 in parentheses squared. So should we write it as 5x plus 4 times 5x plus 4 or 5x plus 4 inside parentheses and then squared?
Okay.
So like which is the simplest form?
Okay, good. Since it is quicker for me to answer that, so I will answer Nadia's question first. So whenever you have this situation, I free you to do both. So it is up to you. So whenever, because you need to factor completely, it means you need if your factors are this, x plus 3 times x plus 3, you can stop there, or you can also write it this way. Okay, that's fine. But of course, because you know the objective, I have already reminded you that in the end, when we have the fx function, and then you need to write down all factors, so we can know which factor that can be canceled. Sometimes it is, I don't know, it's subjective. It's better for me to see it described in these manners, multiplication, so I can really cancel the factor rather than use the square. But again, it's just like the visual thing, okay? So about, yeah, you can choose either. Is that answering your question, Nadia? Okay, so next, before I go to Cliff, okay, Justin, what is your question?
I have a question for number 82.
Okay, so the whole thing. Okay, so if that is the case,
Yes.
I will save this first. How about you, Kristia?
Mine's the same with Justin.
82.
Yeah.
Okay. So since you're asking number 60 and 82, of course, I will try to use the other problem that is relevant. Okay. So it's 60, then it is 15, it's 60. Wait, Cliff, am I correctly? Oh, 80, sorry. Okay, sorry. Tristan, yes, you can. Oh, Joanna, I will answer your question also. Yes, of course, as long as, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. In factoring, of course, there is no necessary steps. Okay, let me just close this first. In factoring, there is no necessary steps. But the point is, if you have to be sure that you answer it correctly, right? Since if you are giving me steps and you answer the final answer is wrong, as long as you give any steps that is relevant, you have like save your points. Yeah, although it's not maximum. But when you don't give any steps and then it's wrong, you know what is the consequences, right? So just make sure if you use that Punnett square, you do it correctly and you have mastered that. Okay, so that's how I answer your question, Joanna. So now let me discuss about those questions. So I will start with the lesser number first, which is 60. 80. So I will choose number 79. Okay, 70. Whoa, what's wrong with this? Okay, wait. I think I need to recalibrate my path. So it's, okay. Number 79, a to the 5th power minus a cubed. Wait. Okay, so let me just pretend that I am not really good in the power, right? So let me just put it here and into multiplication, right? There are a 5 times multiplied and a 3 times multiplied. So I know that I can factor out 3 a's, right? So in the end, I can factor out 3 a's. So a, and the one that being left is a times a minus 1, right? So if I simplify it into a power, it means it is a cubed multiplied by a square minus 1. Now, the question is, always assess yourself. Do we have factors that can still be factored? This one, of course, it stopped there. But this one, if you know that 1 is actually 1 square, right? So actually we have another form of a square minus b square. And we know that a square minus b square can be factored as a plus b times a minus b, right? So if I just write it down, the complete answer, it will be a plus 1 multiplied by a minus 1. Oh, no, it's getting, okay. I don't know why. Okay. So now let's assess, can we still factor a plus 1? No, it's up there. Can we still factor a minus 1? No. So that is your final answer. So if I go back to number 80, My question, Cliff, based on my explanation, do you still have problems with number 80?
I think I'm good, Mister. Thank you.
Okay, okay, good. So Cliff, just I know. Sometimes, yeah, it's very acceptable if you're afraid to ask questions because sometimes I'm asking you back. But just chill, okay, Cliff. So number 80, what is the first factor that you can do?
I just separate the 7 into 3 times, 3 and 4, I think. So
Wait, yeah.
the k to the power of 7, I make it into k to the power of 3 times k to the power of 3.
Okay, good.
Then I just factor out the k to the power of 3. I think.
Good. So it becomes k to the power to k cubed times. What is the next factor?
K to the power of 4 minus 1.
4. Sorry. Yeah. K to the power 4 minus 1. And don't forget that k to the 4th power is k squared being squared. Like, so in the end, if this one is just more complicated than number 79, therefore in the end we will have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 factors as your final answer. Okay. For number 79, the final answer has 3 factors. Let me just say, no, not 3. Actually, this one is 3 factors also. So let me just clarify. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 factors. Number 79. Number 80, it means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 factors. Okay, can you get what I mean about counting the factors? Okay, because k cubed we have 3 factors: k times k times k. Okay, so is there any other question regarding number 80?
Not I want to ask questions about this, like not about number 18 specific, but like in general. So if there's like k to the power of 3, and then like after there's like minus k to the power of 3, so we can just automatically just cancel that into like 1, right? Like in number 80, that's 1. So we can, or is that 0, Mister?
That's 0 because it's the same numbers, right? I mean the
Yeah.
same sum. The same numbers being subtracted, it becomes 0.
But like I'm kind of confused for like number 80. How can it become like from k to the power of 3 multiplied by k to the power of 4 minus k to the power of 3? Like where does the 1, like minus 1, come from? That's like what I'm kind of confused about.
Oh, okay. Let me wait. What's wrong with? Yeah, I don't know. I just find these problems recently with the. Okay, so now let me ask you. If I have 5k minus 10 r, okay, and then I want to factor out 5. Okay, so what is inside? What is the next factor? The other factor, Ronan?
K minus 2r, is it?
Why?
2r.
Why? How do you find k? How do you find k? How do you find 2r?
Because if you take out the 5, then like by law of distribution, then like you're supposed to multiply 5 by everything that's inside the parentheses later on.
Yeah, so the opposite is you divide. So it means you divide this by 5. Therefore, the value is k, the result. And then you divide this by 5, it becomes 2r. Okay, so for this one, since I factor out k cubed, I divide k to the 7th power by k cubed. So let me just rewrite again. It is k to the power 7th power minus k cubed. So when I factor out k cubed, the rest will be k to the 7th power divided by k cubed, right? Because I factor out k cubed minus k cubed divided by k cubed. So in the end, well, by the properties of exponential, when you have division with two powers with equal base, you subtract the exponent, right? So it becomes k cubed multiplied by k to the fourth power minus k to the 0 power. And we know that k to the 0 power is 1. That's how you find the 1. Is that answering your question, Ron?
Yes, Mr. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so any other question regarding number, was it 82? 80. Number 80? We're good? Okay, so let's go to number 82. Interesting. I haven't had these questions from the other class, 80 and 82. Nice. But I hope that the problems that being asked by the other class, you really understand it, right? Hopefully. Or I still expecting some of your questions, of course. So now, again, when you factor completely, try to detect the elements that is contained in the first term and the second term. Usually I use this one. So I just want to, so you can understand visually, x 5 times being multiplied, right? And then minus x, y, 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 y. So there are the same elements. There are 3x that I can factor out, and there are 3y that I can factor out. Therefore, I can factor out x cubed, y cubed. And the one being left is this one, x squared minus y squared. So for this one, the factor is completely being factored. But the next question, can you factor this one? Of course, you still can. So is it Narumi? Who asked this? Okay, I forget. I'm sorry. So I don't want to discuss further since you know how to factor x squared minus y squared. So let me just discuss, do we have the same situation with number 81? Yeah, the same. Number 81 is the same. Bukan ya? Tadi Justin, ya. Are we clear, Justin? And Krisya?
Yes, Mr.
Should we continue? Okay, Justin, boleh lah ya. So what is the next factor? Let's just answer so what is how do you factor x squared minus y squared? What is the factors? What are the factors? Justin?
So first we x to the 3, x times x times x, and then y times y times y. To make it simple.
And then
we simplify that one to x plus y in parentheses and x minus y.
Remember, we are not simplifying, okay? I don't want you to use that term. It's not simplifying. Factoring is not simplifying. Factoring makes things, it's like that you are finding the factors about your problems. So we are not simplifying your problems. We are just finding the roots of your problems. So factoring is not, okay? So I want you to use the use the factoring words. Because when we multiply, then we have simplifying. But I will go to that later. Any other question?
Mister,
Yeah, Krisya.
kalau misalnya the x to the power of 5, I make it to x3 times x2, bisa kan?
Boleh. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's why we put it after exponential, because this assume that you have already mastered the properties of exponential. Yeah, we can use that. Any other question? We're good? Really? No other problematic problems? Okay, so now let me just remind you the common mistakes here. Okay, because it relates with Justin's statement before. Okay, so let me ask you this. Oh wait, wrong. Okay. Okay. Who wants to answer this? Narumi. What is the difference with the first and the second one? This is the first. This is the second one. What is the difference?
The first is hasilnya, Mr. Atau
What is the operation that you can do with the first one?
if the first one you need to multiply A
Good.
minus B minus B.
Okay. So what is the result?
A square minus 2AB plus B squared.
Good.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah. So how about number 2? What is the operation that you can do actually for the second one?
Multiply each by 2 by 2 square to the power of 2, I think. Multiply each.
So A times A minus B times B, like that.
A minus B plus times A plus B.
What are you doing there? If you come up with that, what is the thing that you are doing so you can come up with this answer? Are you multiplying? Are you adding? Are you dividing?
Multiplying.
Division? No, it's not. You're not multiplying. If you multiply, it's A times A minus B times B, right? It is factoring, right?
Oh yeah, factoring.
Yes. So yeah, Nadia, thank you. So we are factoring. Therefore, look at the difference. It's like slightly the same, but it's not. That's why I want to challenge you. One of the requisite thing about good in math is you need to focus and you need to be really into the detail. Okay, so there is a big difference when I put the parentheses here. So I want you to you can differentiate between these two problems. The first one, the only thing that you can do is multiplying. Multiply it, and this is the result. But this one, all you can do is factoring. Okay, because if you need to simplify, we have already had the simplified. This one is the simplest form, actually. But if you need to factor it, yes, you can factor it. It becomes A plus B, A minus B. Okay, so now let me go to the third one. A square plus B square. Okay, Edo, can you factor this?
Yeah.
Yes, so what is the factors? What are the factors?
Wait, I think not. Wait. I'm not sure, Mr.
What is your final answer? Yes or not? You can or you cannot.
I think no, Mr.
Good. Yes, you cannot. Okay, you can, because we have already discussed it on Wednesday, since we have proven by finding the with the discriminant, it's not factorable. Okay, but again, see the difference. You can stop here, and you cannot factor. You just stop there. But if I have A plus B squared, okay, this is multiplication, right? So there will be a product of this. Denise, what is the product? What is the answer? What is the result of the multiplication?
A square plus 2AB plus B square.
Good. Okay, So I want you really be careful with the question, and sometimes again, put aside your bias. Do not predict the problems, just read it. Okay, sometimes because we predict it's supposed to be like this, but in the end when I just give you this, you cannot factor it. You are not factoring it, you multiply it. So be careful. Okay, it looks like the same, but it's not. So any questions so far? This is the things that we have discussed on Wednesday. But there is a thing that I want to add up today. But before that, any other question? So let me just put it box. So I hope it is implanted in one section of your brain there. Okay, so now the thing is, if I have a cube plus b cube and a cube minus b cube, I can factor this. So again, if you have a squared minus b squared, you still can factor it. It becomes a plus b, a minus b. But if I have a squared plus b squared, I cannot factor it. But if we are speaking about a cube plus b cube and a cube minus b cube, we can factor both. So this is the factor. A cube plus b cube equals a plus b multiplied by a square minus ab plus b square. If a cube minus b cube, it will be a minus b multiplied by a squared plus ab plus b squared. Okay, so let me just show you one example. Okay, how to prove if they are the factors or not. Just do the opposite and prove it. So let me just prove this one. Let me prove this one. Is it true that a plus b multiplied by a square minus ab plus b squared equals a cube plus b cube, right? So I hope that you understand how to multiply this. Let me show you. First, do this thing first, right? So it's a cube plus minus a square b plus ab squared, and then I will do the second terms, b to each. Okay, so it will be plus a squared b minus ab squared plus b. Wait. I'm losing space here. Plus b cubed. Okay, so in the end, this one is eliminated by the others, and we only have a cube plus b cube. Yes, we have proven that actually these are the factors of a cube plus b cube, and you can do the same with the second one. So, Mr., how can I, yeah, the only thing that you can do is just memorize it, okay? Or if you forget, try to figure out the factors and try to multiply it. Hopefully, you can find this exact form. Okay, for this one, I believe there is no question. I just want to challenge you to start memorizing it. But there is a common mistake. Okay, I want to remind you, there is a common mistake. Here is the common mistake. See this, okay, see this one. This one is the product of a minus b squared. And see this one. Look at that, it's almost like the same, but there is a difference. This one has 2 as the coefficient of AB. This one has only 1. Therefore, sometimes there is a common mistake that you still proceed with the factors here, and then you still proceed with a plus b, and then you assume that this one is a minus b squared. So it's a minus b, and this is wrong, since it is not the same with this one. I want you to be aware of this, okay? It looks like the same, but it's not. So there are many things in factorings that looks like the same, but it's not. So I want you to be careful in this chapter, especially for those who are really like to do it in haste, okay, and fast enough and just assume things. No, please be careful. Is there any question? Let me just, so that's it for today. I'm just adding you that factors, how to factor a cube plus b cube, how to factor a cube minus b cube. On Monday, we will try to add another situations of factoring that requires another skill. Yeah, so, but there is one thing that I need to explain to you, but I'm still waiting for your question. There is one thing I want to assess. Please, any question regarding your homework that you are still not comfortable, or I think I don't really get it, or just a confirmations of your homework? No, we're good. So again, this is new. Let me just clarify that a cube plus b cube and a cube minus b cube, you still haven't found it on your homework, because the homework that you are doing now, if you see it, the pattern, the objective is to train you this one. A square minus b square, it can be factored as a plus b and minus b, right? And there is one more section that you do on your homework, which is factoring things like this. 3r squared plus rx minus 10x squared. Now I am really interested why this class doesn't ask this section. Hopefully you all are the master of this kind of technique, since we have already discussed this on the previous chapters, quadratic function, but I just want to remind you this specific technique, which is splitting the middle terms. Okay, actually it's not something new, but this is one of the technique that I share via YouTube, and it is optional back then, whether you want to use it or not, right? So for this chapter, it's more useful. So I want you to be reminded with this technique. So whenever I have 3r squared plus rx minus 10x squared, using the splitting middle terms, it means I split this one. I split this one becomes 3r squared plus something rx plus something rx minus 10x squared. And we have to figure out what is that something and something, right? The thing is, if there's that something, the first one multiplied by the second one, if you multiply it, let me just use this, multiply it, it has to be negative 30. Negative 30 comes from where? A times C. A times C. Okay, that is negative 30. Okay, and if you add it, it has to be the middle coefficient, which is 1, right? Because we have no number there. Actually, we have, it is 1 Rx, but yeah. So what are the numbers? If you multiply, it's negative 30. If you add it, it becomes it becomes 1. Anyone who wants to admit yourself?
6 and negative 5.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben. So it is 6 and negative 5. Okay, so I can really write it down again. So it is 3r squared plus 6rx minus 5rx minus 10x squared. Okay, see, we don't change the problems since 6 minus 5 is 1. So if you simplify it, it becomes the original problems, right? We don't change anything. We don't change the value. So it's safe. Now, what we do next is factoring the first two terms and factoring the last two terms. So from the first two terms, what are the elements that can be factored out? I can factor out 3 and r. Okay, so it will be, the one that being left is r plus 2x. right? And then okay, this is 2. And then from the last two terms, which elements that we can factor out, it is negative 5x. So if I factor out negative 5x from each of the element, it will be r plus 2x. Okay, so in the end, your factors will be 3r minus 5x multiplied by r plus 2x. From where? Don't forget, if I have 4a plus or 4a minus 2a, it will be the same with 4 minus 2a, 2a, right? 4a minus 2a, it will be equals 4 minus 2 multiplied by a. 3ra minus 5xa will be equals to 3r minus 5x multiplied by a. So that's how you do the splitting middle terms. But I know and I'm aware that you have other technique, just like what Joanna asked on the chat. That's fine. But for those who are still struggling in factoring this kind of polynomials, I suggest this method, splitting middle terms, because yeah, it will be applicable in many polynomials to factor. Okay, that's the last thing about the homework. I hope, yeah, I'm interested why you didn't ask this, but hopefully you have already understood that since we have already discussed about splitting middle terms. So, but I'm just tempted to just still reminding you about that technique. Okay. Last chance. Questions? No, we're good. Okay, so be prepared on Monday. We are trying to combine with many other cases of polynomials. So we will have different technique of factoring. So I want you to master just this simple one, which is a square minus b square equals a plus b times a minus b. Okay,